In this lesson, we're going to take a look at some examples of problems involving weighted averages. So if you take a look at the first example, it says Laura's science teacher weighs his grades according to the following criteria. Homework is 30% of the grade, quizzes are 30% of the grade, and tests are 40% of the grade. So teachers do this sometimes to make certain categories worth a little bit more. So in this particular class, tests are weighted more than homework and quizzes. So if you consider that example, and then it says, if Laura is earning the following percents in each category, what would her final grade be? So she's earning an 80% in homework, 95% in quizzes, and 83% in tests. So the way we would do this is you would have to take the grade that she's earning in the category. So let's say 80% for homework, and we'd turn that into a decimal. And then we're going to multiply that by what the weight is for that category. So homework, you can see, was 30%. So we're going to multiply that by 0.3. Okay? So we do 0.8 times 0.3, and you would get 0.24 for that category. All right, so if we look at the next category, quizzes is 95%. So we'd turn that into a decimal and do 0.95 times the weight for that category is 30%. So we'd change that to a decimal, and so we'd multiply that by 0.3. So 0.95 times 0.3 gives us 0.285. Okay, so the next category, test, she's averaging an 83%. So if I turn that into a decimal, 0.83 times that percentage weight is 40%. So again, we're going to take 40% and change that to a decimal, and we get 0.4. So we have 0.83 times 0.4. And when you do that, you get 0.332. So then the final step is to just add these together. So we have 0.24 plus 0.285 plus 0.332. And when you do that, you get 0.857. So then we just have to turn that into a percentage by moving the decimal back 2 places. And so her percentage for the class then is going to be 85.7%, which would be roughly a B. So that's how you would calculate grades based on the different weights that are given to each category. All right. Megan's language arts teacher weighs her grades according to the following criteria. Homework is 15%, research projects are 20%, quizzes are 15%, and tests are 50%. So in this class, again, you can see tests are weighted the most, and the research project also has a little bit of a higher weight. So if Megan's earning the following percents in each category, what would her final grade be? So again, we're going to take the percent that she's earning, and we're going to change it to a decimal by moving the decimal back 2 places. So it's 0.85 times whatever the weight is in that category, and homework was 15%. So if I change that to a decimal, I get 0.15. So 0.85 times 0.15 gives me 0.1275. All right, so if we look at the next category, the research project, she earned a 90% on, so that's 0.9, times the weight for that category is 0.2. So 0.9 times 0.2 is 0.18. Okay, so the next category, quizzes, she's only earning a 65% in that category, so that's 0.65. And the weight for that category is 15%, so that's 0.15. So 0.65 times 0.15 gives us 0.0975. Okay, and there's one more category, tests. She's averaging an 89% in that category, and we're going to multiply that by the weight for that category, which is 50%, or 0.5. And when we do that, we get 0.445. So then the next thing we have to do then is add these all together. So 0.1275 plus 0.18 plus 0.0975 plus 0.445. And when you do that, they total up to 8.85, which finally, if we convert this back to a percentage, we're going to move the decimal 2 places to the right, and that means she's earning an 85% in the class. So again, she's getting a B. So those are some examples of how to calculate grades based on weights. Another situation we're going to look at, and this is for credits. So like in high school, you get certain credits for classes, and this probably comes into play a little bit more in college. So if you take a look at the top here, it says many colleges and universities use a weighted average grading system. Courses that are worth more credits have a bigger influence on your grade. So the letter grades correspond to the following numbers. So if you get an A, it's worth 4, an A minus is 3.7, a B plus, sorry about that, a B plus is 3.3, and so on. And then each class might be worth a certain number of credits. So if you look at this example, calculus is worth 4 credits, where English Lit is only worth 3 credits. So some classes are worth more credits than others. So how would you calculate your grade point average based on this type of a system? So what you're going to do is you're going to first look at what grade you earned. So in this case, they earned a C plus, and if you go up here, a C plus is worth 2.3. So I'm going to write a 2.3 next to that. In the next category, they earned an A, and if you go up here, an A is worth 4. Okay. And the next category, history, they earned an A minus, and up here you can see an A minus is worth 3.7. In chemistry, they earned a D plus, and a D plus is worth 1.3. And in computer science, they earned a B, and a B is worth 3. Okay, so then what you do with all these is you multiply them by the number of credits. So like this 4 credit class here, it's 4 credits times the 2.3. And when we do that, 4 times 2.3, we get 9.2. Okay, so if you look at this one, we're going to do 3 credits times 4, which is going to give us 12. The next one is going to be 3 credits times 3.7, which is 11.1. We have the 4 credit class that they earned 1.3 in, so 4 times 1.3 gives us 5.2. And then the final one, a 3 credit class that they earned a 3 point in, and so they get 9 for that one. So then the next thing you do is you add up all of these numbers. Okay, so you add up the totals, 9.2 plus 12 plus 11.1 plus 5.2 plus 9. So when you total them up, you get 46.5. And then what you have to do is you have to divide it by the total number of credits that they earned. Okay, so what we have to do next is add up these numbers. Okay, so 4 plus 3 plus 3 gives us 10, plus 4 plus 3 gives us 17 total. So they took a total of 17 credits. So we're going to do 46.5 divided by 17, and that means that their GPA for this semester would have been 2.735, and the calculator goes on. So we're going to round to the nearest hundredths place, which would be 2.74 GPA. Okay, so their GPA would have been a 2.74. Okay, so just to summarize again, what we did is we first figured out what each of the grades was worth, and we found those numbers and wrote them here. Then we took the grade they earned in the class and multiplied it by the number of credits. That's what we were doing in this category here. Finally, you take the number of credits that they earned total, you take the scores that they earned, and that ended up here, and you divide that by the total number of credits that they earned. So let's do one more. Okay, so if you take a look at this example, I'm going to reference the previous page just to get our scores. Okay, so first of all, they earned a C minus. All right, so what I did is I transferred the correlation of the point values to each grade on this page that we could see it. So if you take a look at biology here, a C minus is going to be worth 1.7. Statistics, they earned a B, and that is going to be worth 3 credits here. American history, they got a C minus, which again was a 1.7. Cycling is an A, which they earned a 4. And photography is a B plus, which they earned a 3.3. Okay, so those are the scores. So if you remember from the previous page, the next thing we have to do is take the number of credits and multiply it by their score. So biology was a 3-credit class, and they earned a 1.7. So we're going to do 3 times 1.7, and we get 5.1. Statistics was a 3-credit class, and they earned 3 points in that. 3 times 3 gives us 9 for that class. American history was a 2-credit class, and they earned a 1.7. So 2 times 1.7 gives us 3.4 for that class. Cycling was a 1-credit class, and they earned 4 points in that class, so that gives us 4 for that one. And photography was a 2-credit class, and they earned 3.3. So 2 times 3.3 gives us 6.6. So then the next thing we have to do is add up the score, and we have to add up the credits. And we divide their score by the number of credits. So I'm actually going to write that down. Score divided by credits. Okay? So their score, I'm going to add up these numbers right here. So 5.1 plus 9 plus 3.4 plus 4 plus 6.6. So their total score was 28.1, and we have to divide that by how many credits they had. This was 28.1, and we're going to divide that by the number of credits. So 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2 gives us 11 for the credits. So we do 28.1 divided by 11, and you end up getting 2.554, which would be a 2.55, because the 4 tells you to keep the 5 the same, GPA. A 2.55 GPA is what the student would have earned. So again, those are some examples of how to calculate grades based on weighted averages.